All right, we are here with another edition of Back to the Bullpen. I'm Htown Wheelhouse, and we're going to talk about this Houston Astros game, the home runs that were hit, Jose Abreu, and Mike Stanton's going to break down Alex Bregman's swing. What better than a former Major League pitcher to tell you what a hitter is doing right and how he can have success going forward? Hey, Mark Drew, hit that intro.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, and I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you wanna start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
That's right, and we are back to the bullpen. I've got Mike Stanton here, my partner in crime, and we are coming to you live from the ramshirts.com studios. Click the QR code and go to Ram Shirts and grab your shirt. Look, just like you can wear what the pros wear right here. This is the closest I'll get to being a pro at anything. But Mike, tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's going to be X, formerly known as Twitter, Mike Stanton 29. That's about the only place you can get me. But hey, if you want to reach out, ask me a question, pretty good chance I may answer it.
Yeah, it is. And Mike, you are a wealth of information. And if people didn't catch it, last episode, you took the helm and you guided the starship of Back to the Bullpen with Chandler Rome.
Yeah.
I watched that interview with him. What a phenomenal interview, a great insight. And one of the things we're going to talk about later on is Alex Bregman. And, he said, basically Alex Bregman said, I don't really give a crap about, with it being a contract year. And so we know that that's kind of Bregman's MO. That's kind of his, who he is.
Yeah.
And later on, we'll tell you guys about State of the Art Barbershop as one of our main sponsors. But hey, let's get into it. This game today, Mike. I actually had the honor of being at the game. It was a great game to go to, and I think for the first time in my adult life, I missed the first run scored. We got there. For some reason, my head was telling me it's a 3:30 start. It was a 3:10 start. And so
3:30. When was the last time the Astros played a 3:30 game?
Well, Mike, I think the heat and humidity got to me. Okay. And I was waiting for
the heavy rain. The heavy rain got you.
The heavy rain.
It soaked your brain.
Yeah. I was waiting for the Cobos. I was pre-gaming at Cobos Q. That's where I got my sweet lid today. But I walk in and I hear the crowd go crazy. And I'm like, oh man, the Twins scored. And they were like, no, dude, they've already hit. Like Framber, got him out quickly. They were like, that's Jordan. I was like, what? And so we get in here. Jordan hits a home run. We'll get to the home runs in a second. But Framber, after going, I guess, AWOL or going rogue, as we call it, he comes in and I notice instead of Yainer Diaz, they have Victor Caratini behind the plate. Let's talk about Framber's performance today. And I want to ask you, do we think we're going to see a Caratini Valdez like battery mates going forward because of that one incident?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's usually the kind of the course correction I would think here.
Okay. Well, let's start off with Framber. He was outstanding. I love the way he changed speeds on his fastball. This wasn't like a big swing and miss day. He only had 6 swing and misses of all the pitches he threw. And the crazy thing is he went 7 innings, only threw 85 pitches. Pretty efficient, especially when you think, I think he had 2 3-0 counts. He had a couple 2-0 counts, but Framber is a master at doing one thing, and that's getting ground balls and getting double plays. 3 double plays bailed him out today. But I thought more than anything else, he looked under control. He wasn't overthrowing. We saw him do that in his in a previous start. I just thought this was the tempo was really smooth and really under control,
Mhm.
and he just did an outstanding job. The Twins just had nothing for him. Now, did that have anything to do with Caratini behind the plate? I don't know. The catching situation is kind of interchangeable. Victor is a veteran dude. He's been around. He's he's been in an Astros uniform plenty now. He's got the confidence of the pitching staff. I think this had as much to do of giving Yiner just a mental day off, because Yiner has been catching a lot, but he really hasn't been. He's supposed to be known as an offensive catcher, and he has not been producing, especially with the long ball this year. And that very well may have to do with just the workload of trying to get these pitchers, work them through every single day. He's a tremendous offensive player, and he's going to be. But I think this was just one of those situations that he just needed to. Take a little mental break, and Caratini went in there and it was working with Framber like he had always worked with Framber.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I think a lot of people are they're really hard on Diaz this year.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz had a limited exposure to this offense. There were certain pitchers he didn't catch for at all. He didn't have Justin Verlander. He didn't. I believe Valdez kind of made a comment that he could throw to Diaz, but there were certain situations where he wasn't doing that. Now you come in, you've got Arrighetti, you've got Blanco, and probably we need to come back this week, I think, and talk again about. I'm a little concerned about the workload that we're going to be giving to Arrighetti and to Blanco this year, because they're going to get more innings in than I think anybody. And I'm concerned about their durability towards the end of the season and wonder how that's going to affect the team. But Framber coming in today, staying in control, not overthrowing, because you and I talked about this before. You talk about this on the broadcast for the Houston Astros. Is that when he tries to unload the cannon, when he gets frustrated and throws hard, it just flattens out. The shape of his pitches becomes something. And I wouldn't necessarily say they're cement mixers, but they're just on a flat plane. So if you swing level, you're going to hit it. If you swing level now, it spins the ball right into the dirt, and that's why.
Yeah, you're still going to hit it, but it's probably going to be a ground ball. And
exactly.
When he overthrows it, there's two things that happen when you overthrow. And overthrow means, throw the ball as hard as you can, maybe try and throw it a little bit harder than you can. Mm-hmm. And for a sinker ball pitcher, what that does is that elevates the ball slightly, and then that makes the two seam run, the sink turn into run. So run meaning a lateral movement, sink meaning more vertical movement. And the vertical movement is what's so important. That's what gets the ball down below the bat. And because now you also, since you're not overthrowing, you have a little better location at the bottom part of the zone. And now you're just beating the ball into the dirt. That's where all the ground balls come from. But when he gets frustrated, he gets irritated, and his tempo speeds up a little bit, that means it's speeding up in his brain also. And when that happens, he can get hit hard, because that sinking fastball turns into a two-seam fastball, and two-seam fastballs elevated go a long way.
They do, especially with professional hitters. We'll get to the long ball here in a second. Garrett actually has a question for you, Mike. He says, do you think this is just a sophomore slump for Yiner?
I don't know if it's necessarily a sophomore slump. I think this is just a situation that he's having to deal with, being the everyday catcher. Last year, tremendous offensive season, but Martin was the main catcher, and he did get to catch a lot, but he didn't have the pressure of having to work the whole pitching staff. And there is a learning curve here. He has never done this before in the big league level. So there's a lot of information he has to go through every single day. There's a lot of mental fatigue that goes into, getting prepared to catch every single day, because you have to remember, it's not the same game plan for every pitcher. Justin Verlander has a much different game plan than Framber Valdez does. And so he's got to prepare for all that. And then, by the way, get your BP in, get your blocking drills in, look at a little video to get ready for the game offensively. So there's just a lot going on. And listen, he's going to be fine. He hasn't forgotten how to hit. The power hasn't gone away. This is just one of those situations that, he's still, this is a learning experience. He's learning on the job here.
Yeah, exactly. And, one of the things that I've learned is that if I go to random places to get my hair cut, it's probably not a good thing and it doesn't end up well.
Come on, with that head of moss you got, come on now.
Well, that's why I often don a cap. And because by the time we do the show, I've worn the hat for so long, I can't show off my hair. Next show, once I get my pictures in, I got some great pictures. My son got his summer cut. Him and his buddies got their summer buzz. And where did we go? We went to state-of-the-art barbershop. Evercruise took care of us, 1616 South Friendswood Drive. I'm telling you, if you tell him that Back to the Bullpen sent you, he will give you a discount. You can give them a call. And I will put up what I'll do is I will put up the website information under the show info on YouTube, and I will also put their phone number in there so you can give them a call. He'll be getting us a QR code for next show, but he said, hey, come on in, and we're going to be putting up a Back to the Bullpen sign in the state-of-the-art barbershop on his sports wall.
Sweet.
And so, yeah, man, he gets you looking good. And my son was going to have one of his friends shave his head, and I was like, but dude, if he does a bad job, we're going to have to go to Ever and have him fix it.
I will say this, if it's a true shave, you can't really mess that up.
Right.
It's when you're looking for a little bit of style, that's when you need the pros.
That's right. And that's why we go to the state-of-the-art barbershop. And again, ramshirts.com is where we get our t-shirts. If you want to dress like the pros, grab your t-shirt. Look, they are at pretty much a discounted rate right now for a little while longer. So make sure you get them now. I mean, the price may go up a little bit, but trust me, you won't go wrong. They're comfortable. They feel good. I changed my tactics here. You can wear them to church. You can wear them on a date.
Right.
You can wear them.
That's right.
You can wear them to the
Astros. Hey, that would be a great present for a first date. Get her own Back to the Bullpen t-shirt.
Back to the Bullpen shirt. And she's like, who's Mike and Brett?
She'll be yours forever.
That's right. So send us a wedding invitation, and Mike will sign a ball for you, and
there you go.
I'll sign a dodgeball for you or something. I'm a dodgeball champion, or I'll sign a runner-up Teacher of the Year award for you. I actually never got an award for that, but hey, here's the deal.
Did a trophy come with that?
No.
Come on. They give trophies for everything now.
For everything, yes, kind of like I-9 Sports, right? But so today we had Yordan Alvarez went yard twice, Mike. Not only went yard twice, he walked and he got a hit.
Yeah.
So he was 3 for 3. He had a perfect day at the plate. Then you had Kyle Tucker hit his 19th home run, which is now second to Aaron Judge, who has 20 home runs. And when we come back, I think this week, we talk about the injured pitchers and where we see them going forward. Mm-hmm. And also, I want to talk about this AL MVP race because we've got Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., Kyle Tucker. Yordan Alvarez can find his way into the MVP conversation if he starts hitting more consistently. But there are some young studs in there. And then not only did the power guys get hits or home runs, Jose Abreu hit an opposite field home run. And I was sitting in section 133, and I knew the second that ball came off his bat, and I had just put out a list I put out a wish list for June, and I think I bullied Jose Abreu into a home run because I was like, if he doesn't perform, DFA Abreu by the end of June, because they said if you're not, and so, hey, he hit a home run. Maybe I really don't think he reads my tweets, but
well, hey, listen, that is Htown Wheelhouse to a T right there. He's going to take credit for Jose Abreu's home run.
There you go.
Hey, listen, he got the head out. Hey, he looks a little bit different. He does.
He does.
They were talking about how he had the mental break and how he's in a good place. The first day back in Seattle, he got a hit and drove in a run. But it was good to see the ball come off his bat with some authority. I mean, we're seeing a little bit more bat speed. I don't think he's completely back yet. But getting that goose egg in the home run column off the table, I think that is a huge part, a huge bit for him to build that confidence and just get back to swinging the bat aggressively, because that's what we saw before they sent him down. We just did not see him taking aggressive swings.
No,
he's usually, especially with guys on base, he's usually kind of an inside out hitter. He's trying to hit the ball up the middle into the opposite field, but you just weren't seeing any bat speed. And I think that has changed. I think that we're seeing more bat speed, and it's good to see him get the ball out in front and drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, I want to sit on this for a second, and then I want to attack a question here. Someone asked us here with Jose Abreu, and I would like for you to address this, because I don't know that I've really delved into this portion of Abreu with you. Being a 19-year veteran in Major League Baseball, you saw a lot of players come in and out of the locker room. You were in multiple clubhouses. You saw guys go through it. When you see quotes from Chandler Rome saying, mentally, I just didn't know how to hit. Like I basically, like, when you read the story, you kind of feel bad for the guy, and then you see the human side. As a teammate of someone like that, what do you do as a teammate? Is it just all you can do is just keep encouraging him? Do you not say anything? How do you handle that in the clubhouse?
It really depends on your relationship with the player, with the teammate. It also really depends on the personality of the player you're trying to help. And a pat on the back can go a long way. But I had some teammates, and heck, maybe I was one of them, that if things weren't going well, you probably didn't want to be around me. There were times that, especially before I had children, believe it or not, there were times that I wasn't very happy even when I was away from the field. If I wasn't throwing the ball and getting the guys out like I expected myself to. So, for Jose, what he's saying is, his body didn't forget how to hit. He can look at the back of the baseball card and see the success he's had. Right. But every player can struggle mentally. It doesn't matter how good you've been in the past, how many awards and trophies you have on the mantle. When you're struggling mentally even more than physically. And I think that's one of the reasons why they decided to send him all the way down to West Palm Beach was just to let him just take a breath, just relax, stop grinding it out. Because listen, there is, even as hard as some of the media personnel were on Jose Abreu, it's how fans were probably even worse. They weren't as hard as Jose was being on himself. And the problem is in this sport, if you're going to go into a situation with a negative mindset, things are not going to work out the way you want to. I mean, this is a negative-based sport, and so I think just him being able to just chill out for a minute, just get out of his own way, and like I said, hopefully this home run he hit tonight, today, this will be something that will lead to bigger and better things, and him start swinging the bat like the Silver Slugger MVP that the Astros brought in last year.
Exactly. I mean, they didn't bring him here to. They're like, oh, this guy's going to decline. Let's just show him the money because, he's earned it. I mean,
right.
I don't think it, and everybody, and I think maybe I've been a little hypercritical to a fault, but it's not like anybody could have seen this coming, because I don't remember anybody being mad that we signed Jose Abreu.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a conversation there between him and Yuli, but it's listen, hindsight's 20/20.
Exactly.
There's people all over the Houston area that are saying that was a terrible sign. I knew this one. Yeah, you're full of it. That's
You
not
knew it?
exactly how that happened.
Like, hold on, what
Yeah,
position do you hold
because
the
even
team?
if you expected him to take a step backwards, you didn't expect him
Yeah, I mean, he
to
fell
just
off the
not be
cliff.
able to
Yeah.
just not be able to hit at all. And again, he hasn't forgotten how to hit. It's just he's mentally, to start off with, he's got to get out of his own way, and hopefully he's started to do that.
So with this being said, before we move on to Jake Myers and Alex Bregman, I'm not a cat, Corky edition. I'm just saying that's his name for those of y'all that are listening. Interesting avatar there. He said, are the Astros buyers this season? Is it too early to have that conversation? Or because right now, look, the Mariners won today, the Rangers won today, Astros won, but they're 6.5 games back.
Yeah. I think what's more important is how far they are under 500. What is it? Seven games, I think.
Yeah.
I think that it is too early to tell. I think, it's just one of those situations. You're going to have to see where you are in another, 3 weeks to a month. And then you make that call, whether you're going to be buyers or sellers, or if you're just going to stay in pat. But I think there's a lot of conversations going on right now. I'm sure Dana Brown is probably losing sleep a little bit, just simply because this is going to be a question he's going to think of every minute of every day up until that trade deadline. So, I think it's just a little bit too early right now. I think you have to figure out, where this team is going to be when you get a little bit closer to the trade deadline.
So I think right now, for all intents and purposes, and I think for the people in the back of the room, I believe that we've found our starting center fielder for right now. I think Jake Myers today, when Byron Buxton hit that ball to center field, Josh Hader threw a heater right down the middle, and Buxton just crushed the ball. Now, I don't know what other ballparks it would have been a home run in, because I didn't check the exact distance, but Jake Myers got a beat on the baseball. And I want to talk about another catch too in right field by Kyle Tucker. But when he ran, he leapt and he slammed his shoulders against that wall. It almost reminded me when he went into that wall during the ALDS in Chicago when he injured his shoulder.
When he hurt his shoulder, yeah.
But this time he was flat on his back. He didn't go like he was tackling the wall, but he came down with it. And Byron Buxton even tipped his batting helmet. And then Josh Hader was like, I mean, the place went nuts. Dubon was, fist pumping, Jake. They got this cool slow-mo thing of Jake doing like this, 2 outs. Of course, he's holding up the H. And I mean, that was a pandemonious moment, because what had happened earlier, Mike, second or third inning early on. I can't remember if it was Julian or who hit the ball, but there was a screaming line drive hit to right field. And Kyle Tucker, man, he jumped up. He sprinted full speed, jumped up and ran. I mean, he went into the fence or into the wall towards his shoulder. I was like, oh, like he hit that wall hard. But man, he made an amazing catch. We've got Tucker in right and Jake in center field. And he was over 4 today, but he's hitting better this year. Sure. His confidence is back. And I remember talking to him. This was 2 spring trainings ago. He was like, I feel like I'm getting back to myself. And I mean, how admirable of a job has Jake Myers done this year?
Well, it really hasn't been this year. It's kind of just been the month of May.
That's true.
Because he wasn't getting much opportunity prior to that.
Exactly.
And,
okay.
Listen, he's playing great baseball. He's always been good defensively, but I think more than anything else, first, he's getting a long looked opportunity here. This isn't just he's playing a couple days and then somebody else is going to play.
Right.
This is how it's supposed to be. If you play, if you hit, you play. I mean, that's just the way it is. And, until you're a bona fide superstar, and then you can go into a slump and not lose your position on the field.
Right.
But that's not where Jake is. He's played very good baseball and he swung the bat extremely well. So you put those two together, you know what that means? You're going to play every day in center field. Now how long is this going to last? Well, guess what? That's up to Jake.
Exactly.
That's not up to Joe. That's not up to Dana. That's up to Jake. If Jake keeps playing, having quality at bats and playing good defense, then he's going to be right where he is right now, playing center field for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, exactly. And I love what we're seeing out of him. He just has a certain bravado about himself, his presence. And I had the honor of interviewing him a month before he got called up. And I remember even then being impressed. He talked about Darren Erstad, I believe, was his coach at Nebraska.
Yeah.
I accidentally, by just happenstance, ran into his parents that year. And I remember talking to his dad. His dad was like, well, I appreciate the compliments for Jake, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's your typical baseball dad. Like
right.
He didn't want to give him too many flowers, but I believe his dad played in the minor leagues as well. So his dad got into pro ball himself. But with that being said, I mean, we've got so many different things going on this team, so many different, avenues we can go. But Alex Bregman, since May 24th, has hit safely in 7 of his last 9 games. He has like 3 or 4 home runs in that span.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has really, really, for the most part, turned things around. Not completely, still at 224. You would like his OPS to be a little higher. You'd like it, his on base percentage is still there because of the walks. But talk to us about Alex Bregman's swing, because I like how you break down his swing, and what does he need to keep doing going forward to continue to climb that ladder and get him in a position where he's contributing day in and day out.
Yeah. So when Alex is right, when he is swinging the bat like, the MVP caliber player he's been in the past, he is one of the best high ball hitters in Major League Baseball. And what makes him so good is because his bat path is so flat through the top of the zone. You don't see that uppercut swing where the bat is getting down below the zone. And yeah, you may catch one out in front every once in a while and hit it a country mile, but there's a lot of swing and miss. Well, Alex has never been a big swing and miss guy anyways. He's got a tremendous eye at the plate, but he's made a few adjustments. But I think what he's done more, and to tell you the truth, you would probably have to get on like a super slow, a super fast camera, super slow motion to actually see any differences. I think the biggest difference is in between his ears. That earlier in the season, I think you saw a player that was searching. He didn't feel right physically. The timing was off just a little bit. He was what's called in between, which means he wasn't quite on the fastball, but he was still in front of the breaking ball, and it was hard to make an adjustment either way. You didn't see the bat speed. You didn't see the aggressiveness. But right now, you're seeing Alex accelerate the bat through the zone. You see him taking aggressive swings. You see him attacking the ball at the top of the zone. And then he makes the adjustment to the breaking ball down in the zone. But this is just one of those situations. It does look like he's slowly but surely creeping out of the issues he was having. And you're starting to tell you the truth. Major League Baseball is better when Alex Bregman has his swag. When he is, when he's batting the baby blues and, he's strutting down the dugout, that's when we're having a lot of fun watching him. And I think we're getting there. Still got some work to do because he dug himself a pretty good hole, but he's trending in the right direction. And as far as the swing is concerned, I think he's just in a better place. He's seeing the ball better. The timing is better. The confidence is high, and he's accelerating the bat through the zone.
Well, explain to me, because I heard you talk about it on Space City Home Network, the difference between him hitting that ball like inside the line versus pulling the ball outside the line. Is that just
so the home run he hit a couple nights ago, it was he hit it it was yesterday. Yeah, it just seems like a couple nights ago. It was yesterday. He scored the only run on the solo home run, and he hit it right down the left field line. It was a really nice swing, and it was a hanging slider kind of on the inside part of the plate. what makes that pitch so difficult to hit isn't necessarily to get the bat on the ball because it was kind of hanging just belt high,
Right.
but it's to keep it fair. And if he overswings, if he's too aggressive, if he's too early, sees the hanging slider and kind of jumps at it, he may hit it hard, but he's going to hook it foul.
Right.
Then the other side of it is if you're not aggressive enough and you kind of try and stay inside the ball, you end up popping the ball up because you're decelerating the bat through the hitting zone. What we saw was the timing was good enough. I didn't think he killed it. I thought he hit it off the end of the bat just a little bit, but still hit it plenty far enough, plenty hard enough to get it out, especially in the Crawford boxes and left. And then he didn't hook it foul. So that's the swing that you're looking at. He's not looking to hit that pitch. Like he's not looking for a hanging slider on the inside part of the plate. That was a complete and total mistake by Pablo Lopez, but he reacted to it and kept it fair. That was the key.
Right.
We see it all the time, hanging slider and inside. The ball is demolished, but it's, 30 feet foul. It's never close. What he did a nice job there was he kept his hands inside it just enough that he didn't hook it foul. So that to me is showing he's making the adjustments he needs to make on the fly, reacting to the pitch, looking in one spot and reacting to another. I mean, this is what has made him an MVP caliber player in the past, and hopefully we're starting to see him get closer to that now.
See, this is why I wanted you to go over that, because today when he got his double, because he got a single and a double, when he got his double, the first ball he hit went foul by like maybe 6 inches, maybe a foot.
Yeah.
Then the second one he hit, it was just foul again. And then when he finally got the hit, it literally landed in between the left fielder and the foul line, and it went to the corner where he got a double. And I was thinking of your breakdown of his swing when he was doing that. I was like, okay, he's doing this. I was like, I felt like a smarter watcher of the game because I had heard your breakdown. So that's why I wanted you to share that on the show.
Yeah. And when you look at that at bat, he hooks the first two foul. So what does that mean? That means the timing was a little bit off. He was a little bit early. But what you like is he didn't change his mental approach.
True.
He didn't let those potential doubles or home runs down the left field line. He didn't let that bother him. He stayed within that bat. He stayed focused. He stayed in the moment and then was able to get the hit. Because a lot of times when you see hitters hit the ball really well or pull the ball just foul, they're walking back to home plate and their shoulders are a little slumped. And you're like, okay, he's probably done for this at bat. You didn't see that from Alex. Alex stayed in the at bat.
Yeah, he did.
Kept his focus and ended up getting rewarded for it.
So let's wrap it up on this. What is it going to take for this offense going forward because look, you can't count on the Rangers and the Mariners to continue to lose. I mean, they're going to win. So going forward, I mean, I guess the offense has just got to feed off of itself. I mean, Abreu clearly fed off the other home runs. Mm-hmm. Jordan had his first multi-home run game since April 27th. But going, and then I think in another show this week, we need to talk about the pitching because I've got some concerns about Brian Abreu. Had his 29th appearance this year, more than anybody in the major leagues. You also got the innings issue with, I think, Arrighetti and Ronel Blanco. But this offense, do we just have to have a more consistent Jordan, a more consistent Bregman, and then the other pieces will, fall in, Altuve got his hits today. Tucker got his hit. And, Myers may go 0 for 4 here or there. But Dubon, apparently Jordan used Dubon's bat today.
Did he really?
So maybe Dubon needs to just give everybody the Dubon special, right?
Hey, you know what? Baseball players are known for being stupid stitches. Yes, I said that right. Stupid stitches. But you know what? If it works, who cares? If a guy has to, grow a mustache, or he's got to comb his hair a certain way, or, wear his left shoe on his right foot, whatever it is, if it works, then it works.
Right.
So you
Change
just
your
keep
walk-up
doing
song.
it. What you need, what they've got to do more than anything else is just stay with themselves. The thing is, we touched on Abreu earlier,
Right.
that, this is a former MVP, batting champion, silver slugger. He didn't forget how to hit, but that doesn't mean that at this point that he's mentally just in his way. These guys on occasion, I hear it all the time. Well, these guys look flat. They don't look like they're trying. Tell you the truth, what they're probably doing is the opposite, that they're trying too hard. They're trying to fix everything. They hit the proverbial 5-run home run when you're down by 5. Well,
right.
that's just something that's not going to happen. So you have to just do the little things, play consistent baseball, keep giving yourself those opportunities to score. You remember back in April, that was the problem. They were hitting the ball fine, but runners in scoring position was the problem. Keep giving yourself those opportunities, keep putting those quality at-bats together, keep trying to use the whole field with runners in scoring position, and just feed off of each other. Don't try and carry all the weight. Trust in not just yourself, but you have to trust in your teammates.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Mike, this has been another great addition. Thank you for taking us back to the bullpen. And so our next show, I want y'all to be in anticipation of talking about the innings usage of these pitchers. How many games does this team have to win in June? I'm thinking they need to win between 18 and 20 of these 26 games. I mean, they need to win a lot of games. And there are just some other things that I think you and I can talk about and go through this season. And I really want to look at the AL MVP race next time we meet, because there are some young studs and there are some fun baseball players. And maybe Mike can tell us about some of his own experiences being a batter when they used to let pitchers hit.
Yes. Yeah. Good time.
Are you excited about that?
I am. Hey, listen, all pitchers, especially back then when you actually got to swing the bat, all pitchers thought they could hit, all catchers thought they could pitch.
Right.
So, yeah, no. And I always, I actually used to consider myself, I was a baseball player that just happened to pitch. I felt that I was more than just a hitter. And, some people may say that the numbers kind of indicate that.
So you're the original.
Look it up.
So you're the original Mike Stanton. You're the original.
Actually, I am not the original. There was one before me.
You know what?
Yeah, actually, pitched for the Houston Astros, pitched for the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
Back in I think the early 80s.
Okay. So I pulled that guy's card out of my dad's collection, and I saw Mike Stanton. And I was going to ask you, is this a long lost brother, or is it any relation?
He had a serious stash, though.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. No, but that's awesome, Mike. I look forward to that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 500 subscribers. We're going to break down some of this content. We'll have it in a little short form you can share with your friends. Have them subscribe. Grab your Back to the Bullpen shirt. Wear what the pros wear. Go to ramshirts.com. They got a ton of stuff on there. You can buy state-of-the-art barbershop, 1616 South Friendswood Drive. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. He's World Series champion Mike Stanton. And this is another edition of Back to the Bullpen.
Adios.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you wanna start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walk your back, looking like